welcome to How to Grow Garden. I am Scarlett. So I have a bunch of projects kind of happening all at the same time. I don't know how long it'll take for any of them to really be finished. And I wanted to give you maybe a sneak peek as to what's going on, give you an idea of what we're up to. Anyway, let's start in the garden because I'm over here. This is what my garden is looking like so far. And I can see it in the camera. It's pretty messy. Let's see if I can hold this straight. It's pretty messy. So we have 6 beds right now. Yeah, it's a real mess.
Okay. The prettiest thing, but let's see. I mean, if I was presented like that with it, I'd say start over.
Look at all your rejects too.
Hmm?
Your pile of rejects. These are unacceptable. Too leggy, too whatever. Totally good for eating, yes? Do I have your consent to put you in my video?
No.
It's still March and I'm in the woods. This is quite impressive. Like Rain's house, there's not a single smidge of snow anywhere, but look at this. It's all white. And I'm just gonna go for a walk with the goats, take them down to Bruno and Bella. Oh, Rosie's out. Rosie! Can you guys see her?
Rosie. Hi, Rosie.
Come here. Come, Rosie. Hi, your nose is very dirty. What have you been into? A little forest pig. Yes, indeed. The forest pig. Also, she doesn't like snow. You want to go for a walk on the snow?
Yeah, let's go, Rosie.
Come on, Rosie.
That's that.
Rosie, come. This way. Come on. No, she's off. I think it's a really great idea when building paths or driveways or anything like that, trails, we have tons of trails, to not make straight lines. So straight lines give you this sense of, you can see all the way to the back. If you put something in the way and all of a sudden it becomes a meandering, romantic twist and turn from one to the next, and once you get to something, you think you're going somewhere, you get there, you realize, oh, it continues, right? It continues to the right, it continues to the left. It makes for a much more interesting walk, a much more exciting way to get through the forest or the garden, or in this case, the entire property. I really want to make videos. I want to put it all together and make a giant video for you guys and show you the entire process of building everything. But I think perhaps if throughout my upcoming videos I talk a little bit about why I did what, and then I can include old clips from old stuff of the building process and not make solid videos, although I probably will at some point. But it's like 2 hours worth if I made a proper, how-to. So you're gonna have to tell me in the comments if you guys would be interested in that. That's a ton of editing work. Mine should be pretty cool to have and just see. It really is this hot out here. Oh my goodness. It is 33 degrees Celsius, so I don't know what that is. Like well into the insanity kind of temperatures. I am going to turn this plot behind me into a flower bed. So what I'm starting with is the borders. Now, I am not a centrifuge gardener. I don't like everything to be all around the outside. But when designing a garden, I do feel like designing the outsides is the easiest to start there and then work my way in. So I've got this edge. I'm going to do a big one back there. I'm probably later, when I take the tent away, I'm going to do something where the tent is. And then I know, just because of how we're walking, I know that I want, where is it now? I want a path going in here, which will come and follow this way, and then go around here where the car is. And I also need a path where Chelsea is, which is where it meets with the driveway. And then I'm gonna have to have at least 1 or 2 paths back there. So the shape will be defined by the gardens, but initially I want to do the outsides, figure out what the outsides are, and then work on them. And then later, as space opens up and as I can see where I am, what I'm dealing with, I can fill it in. I brought over my prize plants, things that I'd started from seed and such that were in the cottage garden, and yeah, there's quite a collection of plants at the moment behind our gardening supplies that are all under here that need to go in the ground. So I really don't have a choice when it comes to how long I want to spend on this or how long I want to procrastinate, because these guys need to go in. Like the dahlias right here in this container here are, they're just growing in there. They need a bed, right? This is a problem. All of these guys, they need a bed. So it all needs to go into a bed. But if I don't have beds, it becomes very complicated. I love this tree. This tree is so beautiful. And I'm going to make reference to this tree a few times because it's a good point in the garden that hasn't actually changed, or in the forest. It's just the prettiest dead tree, which I am definitely keeping. It's hard to see, right? There's these trees in front of it. There we go. Isn't that amazing? You can see this huge collection of twigs and roots, and then again more twigs and roots, and over here behind me more twigs and roots. See how it goes back out over and around. I wanted to make sure that all the roads had a winding feel to them, so at no point anywhere on the property are you able to see from the front to the back. I have some wildflowers here, which I have selected from all over the place, and everything else are just plants I've either grown from seed or plants that I bought last year, or of course tons of plants I bought this year. There's my car. My car is going over here. Oh right, I did an episode on that, or at least I did a beginning, so I guess I should do a continuation. The continuation is I'm not done. You can see into it a little more. I can walk over there in a minute and show you, but the cars are all going to go back into that woods, and I'm really excited about it because they're going to have a spot which will be cool, so my cars won't overheat, and I will be able to see them, but I think it'll be okay. They'll be on the side, which will be better than right there. I just do not like looking. I mean, it's a sexy car, but I don't like looking at it. Deer nipped off the tops. Can you see? There's no more tops here. This is Jerusalem artichoke that they bit or nibbled on. And everything else in here is dahlias in the back. There's some lettuce back there. And then lots and lots of barley. All this beautiful green stuff you're seeing is all barley. And same here too. Lots of barley. So I am using the barley as a green cover. It's a green manure. To live mulch, and it's working really well. The other thing I'm doing that I haven't done before is we got a wood chipper. If you use a lot of pines and cedars, or more cedars, I'm not really sure about pines, but if you use a lot of cedars, it will inhibit the growth of seedlings or seeds, the germination of seeds. I had friends tell me when I started this project, I guess maybe 6 months into it or so, let's say around the time that Bo and I broke up, friends that came over and said this was going to take me 25 years. There was no way that I was going to be able to turn this huge brush pile and all the mess that was here into something usable. And looking back at the videos, though, I totally get it. I believe it. I understand why somebody would come and say this is too much, because looking back, I'm literally thinking, oh my God, boy, did I put on my rose-colored glasses, colored glasses, and decide that I could do this, and seriously bit off, maybe not more than I can chew, because it looks pretty amazing, and it looked really amazing all summer. But now you can really see the cleanup now that the leaves are gone. Everything from pollarding these trees, where are they in here? They're really hard to see now, but the trees are back and they're all pollarded, which means they're cut up here. and they've all leafed out with new branches. They're just so beautiful. The goat house is finished, the goat paddock is finished, the perennial garden. Again, if I give you a wrap around, it doesn't look like much right now, but it is just gorgeous. And it's funny because I've said that a few times in the last few years on these videos, and now as a viewer I'm looking at them saying, no, it's not gorgeous, it was terrible. What were you thinking? It was terrible. I mean, this is where we put the bags of insulation and all the wood, and it wasn't terraced like this. Let me show you that. This is all terraced now. It comes down on different levels and all these beautiful beds. Okay, I keep calling them beautiful, but to me, I see the finished product, and that's my problem, or maybe my blessing, which I think is really difficult for everybody else. I always see what it's going to look like, not what it does look like. So, and of course, in this case, I know what it looks like in the summer. It's so, so pretty. I'll put a clip in so you guys can believe me that it really is amazing. But this is where the camper was just behind where the pergola is. My tent, the very beginning, my tent was where the pergola is. There's some rudbeckia under here. Let's see if it's still blooming. Oh, it is. It's pretty cold this morning, so I'll leave it closed. And this is citronella, geranium citronella. I did take a few cuttings from that, and I pulled out one and cut all the branches off and just put it into like replanted the original plant, because this is for zone 9, citronella geranium. So I don't have citronella grass. I might get a hold of that at some point, but yeah, for zone 9, so it's not gonna work at all at zone 4 or 5. Now technically I'm in 5B, but what that means I'm not really sure, because our weather is constantly changing, and last year it was minus 35. And I have that on video, me saying, oh my God, today is minus 35. So minus 35, I mean, that can't be zone 5B. That's gotta be like zone 3 or something. So that changes everything. So it's great to think that I'm in zone 5B and it's slightly warm out here. But the reality is I have to choose plants, or I have to protect the plants in a whole different mindset than I would have thought. Because even though they say they'll be okay, they won't. And if I want them to be okay, I've got to take the time to fix them and prepare them in the right way. So these are the trees I'm talking about that I pollarded. Again, I'm not sure if you guys can see anything. Here, do you see how these are all cut off? And then they have all these beautiful branches, these new branches, new growth coming out. So in the summer, this has become a mini forest, and it's half the height, which is amazing because this area was so dense with tiny, tiny little trees, just tiny trees, but there was too much of them. This is not an old growth forest. This is a forest that was originally cleared for farmland and for grazing, and then it was allowed to just grow back, but it wasn't maintained. So that means there's a lot of dead stuff. There was a lot of overgrowth. It wasn't thinned in any way. So all the trees are really just in stasis, trying to wait for the big trees to die, and so the little trees can fight to get up. So by thinning it, thinning the forest and then not burning the wood, but using it in a way, using it in the beds as hugel beds, using it as in the berm, which is incredible housing for all kinds of animals. There are squirrels and chipmunks and birds that just love this giant wraparound berm. And this is not the only one. They're everywhere. They're all around the goats. They're down on the main road. Anywhere where I want to keep animals out, deer out, people out, make it more private, or make it a little warmer. It's just the coolest thing ever. You guys have seen the driveway before. Maybe I should go for a walk on the driveway. This was quite the challenge to put this driveway together. And you know, I talked a little while ago, maybe 2 years ago, about where I was putting flowers and where I was putting beds, and to watch it now and go back and say, like, what was I thinking? Oh my goodness. Yes, I had to get the plants in the ground. That's all there is to it. I had to get the plants in the ground, and I had to find places of ground I could put the plants. So where are you going to put it? Anywhere where it's green or brown in this case, I can stick something in. That's what I did. Eventually, of course, things moved. Things opened up. You can see this whole area is just all beautifully opened up now. And by that I mean it's cleaned out, all the brush has been removed. It's all been incorporated into beds in order to hold the water and help things grow, really. That's really the whole point here. Back to the goats we are. They want breakfast. Right, puppy?